In a world where there are too many comic books to keep up with, one podcast has the stones to bring you all of your comic book needs. Week by week, book by book. One epic show. You are now tuned in to Nerd Church Radio.
Hello and welcome to NCR DC Mass episode 37. I'm your host Ben Dupé.
And I'm Bradley Butan.
And that's all we got for you guys this week. It's just me and Brad this week, bringing back the OG crew.
That's right, a little throwback from like episode, 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, or I think we were alone for like first 5 or 6 episodes even.
Okay.
Yeah, but I could be wrong. I don't know. So yeah, I'm pretty excited though. It's actually, I mean, not to say I love having Travis with us as part of the crew, but it's kind of cool to do like a throwback too. So
oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
man.
Travis is busy with the Mother's Day duties.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
What about you guys? Do you guys have Mother's Day stuff going on?
I got my wife a couple things. My mom is down, which I got to go grab her something after this.
Dude, I still got to get my mom something too. We're broke. We're like budgeting right now, so I'm probably just going to do flowers or something like that. So yeah, man, it's been crazy this week. Like I worked 10.5 hours Tuesday through Friday. Then I worked till midnight last night or 12:30. Yeah. Had to wake up at 8 this morning to go to Mayhem and work for a couple hours.
Yeah, man. I actually can't say that. I've actually had a pretty easy week.
Yeah,
with the new job, it's pretty
chill.
Yeah. I like it a lot, man. It's so good.
Not being micromanaged anymore,
dude. It's amazing. Like, no, you're not at all. I mean, like the training, like, I mean, I have PowerPoints literally up my ass.
Yeah.
but like and I work with unemployment insurance. So when people are trying to get unemployment in the state of Iowa, they're going to talk to me, and I'm going to go and pretty much mediate between that person and the employer.
Yeah.
So, but learning how to do all that stuff. I mean, they have like almost every situation that you could think of. And like, this is how you do X, Y, and Z. And their system is kind of outdated.
Yeah, as is any office job. You're always working on DOS stuff.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it works. So the training is just like amazingly good.
That's awesome, because most places, like my job, for instance, I mean, I love my job at the design firm, but like but they get a lot of students that are just graduating through there that don't know how to operate computer programs and stuff. So I mean, the training's 2 weeks and you're out on your own. And I mean, I already knew how to do a lot of the stuff, but a lot of the people are kind of shit out of luck, because it's like you train for a couple weeks and then you're out. So it's nice when you get a job that has a good training program and takes the time.
And it's for the state, so it's like, okay, I think I'll stick around here for the next 20
got
years.
Those good benefits and stuff like that.
Oh man, the retirement, I can't wait.
Yeah,
for like 20 years from now.
Gonna be podcast. You guys, listeners, are gonna be getting like eight hours of podcast every week.
Oh yeah, I think we talked about a couple other ones that we kind of have planned that me for. Future. Yep.
When I get done with school and stuff, we're going to be launching some more. I want to do like a pop culture podcast. Eventually want to get into just reviewing stuff and stuff like that. So, before we go any further, what do we talk about on NCR?
Sweet Stephanie Brown stuff.
Yeah, but what kind of stuff?
DC Comics.
We are a DC Comics fan podcast. So that's what we're talking about on this show for first-time listeners. We like to recap and review all of the weekly DC comics that come out every week. As part of that, we do spoil the comic books. So
Stephanie Brown.
Yep, Stephanie Brown is spoilers. So plot beats, character developments, spoilers, all that stuff. We put timestamps for all the books down in the bottom. If we get to a book you haven't read yet, you don't want to have spoiled, just look in the show notes below the show, and you'll see like the timestamp. You can skip ahead to the next book or whatever. Yeah. We are proud members of the Batman Podcast Network, and we also host a website where my wife, Ariel the Oracle, we like to call her, me and one of our other hosts, Noah, write reviews for all the comic books every week. That can be found at nerdchurchradio.com. We do have a Patreon website where you can donate to us, help us keep the lights on. If you want to donate to us, that is at patreon.com/nerdchurchradio. And you can find that there and donate some monthly, stuff to us, and we'll give you stuff in return. We do exclusive content sometimes. It's only available to our patrons. So we do appreciate you guys helping us keep the lights on. We also love to interact with people. So if you want, we have a listener line where you can give us a call, leave us a voicemail. We actually got our first one this week. We're going to be playing, Brad actually called.
It was me.
We're going to play it on Communion, which is our other show. But yeah, you can call us, leave a message, and we'll play it on the show and kind of talk while we're playing it and stuff. That's at 641-715-3900. Extension 345703, and doesn't even have to be related to comics. You can just call and talk about whatever. I mean, just talk to us. If
try to be a host of another show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Throw your name in the hat. So, if you want to email us, you can email us at nerdchurchradio@gmail.com, and we'll read your mail on air. If you don't want to have your voice on the podcast, you just want to mail us, that's fine too. So that's at nerdchurchradio@gmail.com.
Or you could tweet at us too.
Yeah, and you can tweet at us. We're at Nerd Church Radio everywhere. Saw some pretty cool interaction. Juan Ferrero was talking to. That's pretty cool that he listens to us now.
Yeah.
So, we got a couple artists over at DC that we've tweeted at that are listening to us, supposedly. So, that'd be cool. Maybe.
Even supposedly, I don't care, man. That man, Juan Ferreira.
Yeah, he's cool.
Dude, his art is just amazing.
Well, yeah, and dude, as soon as he put the guys from Weird Science in a comic book, I was like, okay, this guy cares about the fans. That's cool.
Yeah.
Because that's just kind of a cool thing. Shouting out to the people who, we put just as many hours as he puts making the comic every week. We probably put an equal amount into reviewing. I mean, just time-wise, equal amount of time into reading and reviewing the comics and stuff like that. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, we actually want to go to Comic Cons for the people who create the comics.
Yeah, I know.
Those people, and it helps that he's one of the artists on Arrow.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
One of Brad's favorite heroes. I think your favorite hero, right?
I go back between Green Arrow and Green Lantern.
Back and forth.
Yeah,
I'm that way with Batman and Batgirl too. I mean, Batman is undeniably cool, but Batgirl is just she holds such a Babs just holds a special place in my heart. So,
and I like Rebirth's Batgirl better than, or at least Barbara Gordon better. I just wish they had consistently. I feel like they kind of change her personality a lot in different books.
Yeah, she can either be a really strong female, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer type female, or she can be a social media obsessed teenager. And that I don't like it when they write her a social media obsessed teenager.
I mean, too. I want her to be in her early 20s. She can still be in college. I'm fine with that.
Yep.
But I want her to almost be the love interest for Dick Grayson, and I want her to be a mentor to Supergirl.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm interested to see in the TV show or in the movie where we're going to go with her age and stuff, because I think with Bruce being older, she might be 27 years old.
I hope so.
And I'm actually okay with that. So it just already developed, already there. So so before we go any further, we will jump on into the news. All right, so getting into the news today. First off, I have some, I don't want to say bad news, but it's frustrating, I guess, for me. And I don't know if you heard about this or not, Brad, but the girl who plays Clark Kent's mom in the movies, she was on a talk show.
Oh, Diane Lang,
Yeah, did you hear about this?
Yeah, and she said that that Justice League is not going to be as good as Avengers.
Yep, so what happened was she was taking listener questions, and a listener called in, and this is exactly what happened. The listener said, can you reveal any spoilers about Justice League, and will Justice League be better than Avengers? And she said no and no. Disappointing but honest, sorry. So... and then her publicist put out a thing later trying to save face, which she kind of you kind of saw that coming. I mean, the publicist is definitely going to come out and say something, but still, man, that sucks.
they're two different types of movie. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, they're both ensembles, but the DC universe has set a darker tone. Marvel already is established. They have one formula and one only. They don't develop they have their issues too. I don't know.
I don't know. You kind of wonder, like, do you think she's even seen the whole script for the movie?
Probably not.
I mean, she definitely has it. Like, the stars of the movies, they don't see the movies until the premiere.
Yeah.
So, like, she definitely hasn't seen the whole movie. She's not a major player, so she probably hasn't read the whole script. I don't know, man. I feel like maybe someone pissed her off on set, or maybe Warner Brothers or Zack Snyder pissed her off or something, and maybe this is her way of, like, getting back or just being pissy at them or something like that.
And she's not the first person in the movie to say that as well. I think there was somebody else too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't remember who, but I remember seeing something on Facebook, but I didn't look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I know that someone, like a former WB employee, put out an open letter to the public, and they were like, basically saying, like, Warner Brothers is a wreck, Wonder Woman is a train wreck, and it's just, but that was a while ago, and Patty Jenkins kind of snuffed that. She was like, this just isn't true. So
right.
I don't know, man. I have pretty low expectations for the movie, just because I had such high expectations for Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
And so I've set the bar really low now. Yeah. So I hope they fix the problems. I do have higher expectations for Wonder Woman, and that leads into my next piece of news, which is Wonder Woman tickets have now officially gone on sale. So you can go see the movie June 1st. That's a Thursday night. That is the premiere. Ariel and I have already bought our tickets. We'll be going with Noah, and we'll be doing a podcast actually right after the movie just to talk about it a little bit. So, Brad, you're obviously welcome to come with us too if you want to.
Possibly. I know my wife wants to see it.
Okay.
So the whole babysitting thing kind of sucks.
Yeah, I know. I hear that, man. Yeah. Sorry, I just got a message. Just one sec. All right, sorry about that. I had technical difficulty. Just had to check on it. So Wonder Woman tickets are officially on sale. You can go out and see that. We're going to be going out recording a show. It's going to be awesome. I have pretty high expectations for Wonder Woman. I think Patty Jenkins is a director we haven't really seen anything in the DCU from. I think she had a vision for the movie. I watched the final trailer. Did you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, and it showed a lot of setup for, young Diana
Prince.
Yeah, Diana Prince and stuff. So I don't know. That's been cool. I think it looks beautiful. I don't know. I'm going into that with pretty high expectations. So we'll see. I'm hoping so. The next and final piece of news we have is Mr. Miracle breaks out in a brand new series for DC. Did you hear about this?
I briefly, but I have some news I want to mention too. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool.
I want to know more about this Mr. Miracle thing too, because I'm like, who is this?
So I'll just be reading off of the website here, dccomicsnews.com. But rejoice, Mr. Miracle fans, because one of Jack Kirby's most beloved new gods returns to DC Comics in a brand new 12-issue run starting this August. The new series from writer Tom King, artist Mitch Gerards, will take readers on an episodic roller coaster of death, resurrection, mystery, and intrigue. If you don't know Mr. Miracle, he was created by Kirby for DC in the 70s and first appeared in 1971's Mr. Miracle #1. Escape artist Scott Free, using the alter ego Mr. Miracle, was one of the world's greatest escape artists. How great was he? So great he mastered every illusion, achieved every stunt, and pulled off every trick except one: he has never escaped death. Tom King actually commented on this. He said, Mr. Miracle is the most ambitious project I've ever worked on. That's awesome. Yeah, which I love Tom King. I mean, he was ex-CIA. He was in Afghanistan. He has a really cool perspective on things. So Tom King says, Mitch and I asked ourselves if we could do something as good as Sandman, Preacher, or New Frontier, which are transcendent, contain stories that comment upon the times in which they were made. We knew we'd be stupid to think we could, but we'd be more stupid not to try. Because of the nature of how Tom and I are creating the book, I'm able to really sketch how I approach the art, which is Gerard is now talking. I followed Tom into Baghdad, Gotham City, and now I couldn't be more excited to join him on the battle plains of Apocalypse. So here we go into the breach once more, and I wouldn't want anyone else by my side for New Genesis.
Nice.
And King has one more quote here.
Yeah.
Mr. Miracle is the story of a trap man who can get out of any trap. It's about the weird that surrounds us now, that seems to push into every aspect of our being, that leaves us questioning the very foundations of our existence. How did I get into this, and how the hell do I get out?
So my first comment is Houdini. So, I mean, it kind of sounds like the character's based on, and I've never heard Miracle Man before, because I'm still pretty new to comics. But like Houdini was pretty much the greatest escape artist, and he was so apt to prove the other side wrong. Like people saying that I could talk to ghosts and whatever.
Yeah,
and he made it his life purpose to debunk these. So after he died, which he died on Halloween, 1912, 13, something like that. But anyway, so like every year they would hold seances to try to connect with Houdini.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I mean, I could really feel those tones, and the reason why, I mean, I'm a huge magician. I like to do magic. Of course, all my friends know. But
this actually gets you in two ways, because you're a magician.
Yeah,
and then you're also, I mean, Tom King was over in Afghanistan. You're ex-military, so you've been over and more so. And his books always have that aspect. I mean, if you've never read Omega Man, which I don't think you have,
I haven't.
But that is a Green Lantern's book that actually goes into like terrorism and how it affects everyone and stuff.
Wow,
so
cool.
It's from like soldiers' perspective and stuff.
Man, yeah.
So I really think it's something you would like. Actually,
I will have to read that.
Yeah. I'll let you borrow it sometime. So yeah, moving on. What do you got for news, Brad?
Nightwing: The New Order will be coming out soon. It's going to be a Elseworlds story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I can't remember.
This is called Nightwing what?
Nightwing: The New Order. And it was just announced this last week. I think it's coming out later on in the summer. And it takes place in the future where Nightwing is pretty much had been hunting down a bunch of metas.
Oh, wow.
And then for some reason, he has a son in it. And apparently his son must be a meta or something, because then he's changing his mind or something.
Wow.
But yeah, and it's got a good writing team too, and I forgot to write that down.
The writing team on this one
It's Tim Seeley.
Oh, is
Tim
it?
Seeley, who did Nightwing in New 52, where it was awesome. He did the
Nice.
Court of Owls. Yes.
Yeah, and he actually worked on Batman Beyond 2.0 as well. So it looks like yeah. Oh no, this is Kyle Higgins writing.
Kyle Higgins, that's what I meant.
Kyle Higgins, I'm
Tim
sorry.
Seeley's doing it now.
He's doing
Kyle Higgins.
Nightwing, right? Yeah, so Kyle Higgins is doing it.
Yep.
Kyle Higgins commented on this. He said, "My all-time favorite DC books throw characters we know and love into future worlds that are equal parts familiar and terrifying, laced with moral issues that aren't black and white or easily solved. Ultimately, these stories say something about our world, and that's what we are aiming to do with this Nightwing series through the lens of a future generation of heroes." This is cool. I didn't know about this. This is actually really cool.
Yeah.
And some of the covers look like they have the Batwing suit on them, and there's like, but Batwing kind of looks like a bad guy, and it looks like there's armies of Batwings. So that's kind of cool. That's like Fox's, Lucius Fox's son,
yeah.
Luke Fox.
Yep,
yeah.
Luke.
So good bit of news, man. I actually didn't. Where did you find this? I see it on Screen Rant.
I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah,
I
good
read
call.
it. I thought I tagged you in it, but I may not have.
Yeah, I get tagged in it. You know, between all the hosts, they're always like video games, comics, everything. So, yeah, that's awesome.
My butt.
Yeah. This is coming this summer. So, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out from DC. We got the Dark Matter stuff. We have Mr. Miracle. We have Nightwing New Order. So, DC kind of started slow with all the main titles, and now they're reeling it back. I think we're gonna. I hate to say it, but I think we're gonna have to start seeing some books be canceled soon. Here,
I think so too.
I've been looking at sales numbers and listening to. I gotta say, Weird Science called this out, but their prediction, and I think they're dead on with this, is the first straight out cancellation of a Rebirth book is probably going to be Cyborg. I want to say, and that's the numbers are low for it. They're also thinking that they're probably gonna, or I'm also thinking they're probably gonna cut Aquaman back to a monthly release. If it isn't, is Aquaman a monthly release? I think it is.
Yeah.
I think we're also gonna start to see some of the bi-weekly titles get cut into monthly titles instead, because they're spending a lot of money to print these every 2 weeks.
Yeah, and like Aquaman, I'm not a huge fan of Aquaman, but I just started following it, and the last few episodes
they've been good.
Have been good.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is coming from a guy that's
not really going into
it
wanting to
love.
like it. Yeah. So they're going to be reeling back, I think, a lot of their main titles that they've been publicating the shit out of. I mean, they've been putting out these books left and right. They're going to be pulling those back, and they're going to be putting out some weird stuff like this Nightwing New Order or the Dark Matter stuff or the Mr. Miracle stuff, which I'm all about, man. I want some weird books.
I want Spectre.
Yeah. I want weird stuff.
I do. I think there's a place for it in Rebirth, but I think we're hitting that year point here coming up like soon.
We're getting close. Yeah, we're on
this month or next month.
I know we're in the 40s of the weeks.
Okay.
We're in the week 40s.
Well, yeah, so we're probably about a month away. So
month or two, yeah. I want to say I could look it up right now, but I want to stop the show. So that's fine. We will keep things moving on here to the book reviews.
All right.
All right, so first off in book reviews, I'm going to start with one of my favorite books of the week, Titans number 11.
Yeah.
So Titans number 11, story on this one. Actually, man, I didn't get any of the creative teams written down, but that's okay.
Abnett, Percy, Priest, Booth, Ratmund, and Dollhouse.
That's a killer team, too. We got Benjamin Percy on this
Percy
thing.
was so good.
Yeah. So Titans number 11, we start off with a flashback of what used to be the Teen Titans and now is the Titans. Deathstroke's son, Ravager, died fighting the Titans, and Deathstroke carries his son away and says, "You're going to pay for this someday." Then we get a sequence showing Slade Wilson getting a corneal implant and getting his sight back. Very comic booky operation, cornea implant. We switched your eyeballs out with someone else's so you could see again.
Yeah.
Retcon. Then we cut to the Titans who think they're fighting a team called Hive. But during the fight, they realize they've been duped and they're actually fighting paid assassins, not Hive. During the fight, Deathstroke kidnapped Wally West and gave him a truth serum, which is a really convenient way for them to kind of recap what's gone on recently in the Titans, because this begins the Judas contract. It's a crossover, so they're probably getting a lot of new readers on this one.
Or Judas contract.
Or no, not
Lazarus.
Judas. Lazarus contract. I'm sorry, Lazarus contract. So through the truth serum, we get a scene of Deathstroke asking Wally West a bunch of questions, him answering them, and it's just a really convenient way for them to sort of recap everything for us. It's the equivalent of Redhead Recap Reporter Lady. So we get a scene of the Titans trying to figure out where Wally is, but Slade is too good at hiding things. Slade tries to get Wally to go back in time and save his son Ravager, but Wally refuses. Slade even tells Wally that he'll stop being Deathstroke completely if Wally agrees to go back and save his son, but Wally still says no. Slade tells him, "That's fine. I have a contingency anyway," and he reveals that New 52 Wally is being held captive in Slade's lair. And New 52 Wally is like, "You're Wally West? How are you Wally West? I'm Wally West." That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And finally we get, I don't know, in the Flash book, has Black Wally found out that Barry Allen is Flash yet?
Yeah.
He has? Okay, because I know for a while there.
Because then he ran off right away. It was a few. It was
Go figure.
Yeah, it was. Was it long ago?
Yeah. I don't know.
Because Wally and Flash, they did something, and they were. I forget what.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
But,
that's okay, though. The art in this book is always going to keep it out of purgatory. I mean, even if the story sucked, which it didn't, if Brett Booth's doing art on it, I would still give it a blessing just because of the artwork. But the artwork is just gorgeous on this thing, man. I love Brett Booth's artwork. He's just, I mean, like, He's very. Everyone looks like a supermodel, and I got over that. I didn't like that at first, but his anatomy skills are on point. He there's not a straight line in the whole book. I mean, all the frames are weirdly drawn and stuff. So yeah,
I don't like Tempest.
Yeah, he was kind of whiny in this issue. He was just like he suggested that Wally just ran off. And they were like, no, Wally didn't just ran off. And Tempest is like, all right, I'll just be over here doing my thing.
I'm going to pout.
Yeah, pout. And it's like, okay, Tempest, just chill out. We're going to find him. So it was really cool seeing some of my favorite artists and writers work on a book together, though. Like seeing Brett Booth and Benjamin Percy work on something together is awesome for me because Benjamin Percy is one of my favorites. Brett Booth is definitely really good. Brett Booth is killer at the team-ups. Yeah. So
now, Omen, I don't, I think we've had this discussion before. I don't understand her. I don't understand what her.
She has psychosomatic abilities, I believe, or psychosomatic abilities where she can get in your head. Basically, she can tell if you're lying. Which in this issue,
like Jean Grey.
Yeah, she is kind of a Jean Grey type thing. Yeah. So in this issue, now that I think about it, she's a lot like Jean Grey. So in this issue, though, she's asking when the Titans are trying to figure out where Wally is. They start talking about Hive, and I think she asks Nightwing something about either the Lazarus contract or Hive. And Nightwing says, I don't know. That means nothing to me. And he lied about that. And she's like, he just lied to me. Why did he just lie to me? Yeah. So that was kind of weird. We don't know. There's some past thing going on here. I didn't read any of the old stuff with Teen Titans and Deathstroke, so I don't know much about that. I don't know either. But listeners, if you know anything about this, we'd love to hear from you about it. So I think the crossover with Deathstroke is going to get me reading Deathstroke again, probably. I think this is probably a good time for you to jump on a Deathstroke book if you've been wanting to.
Yeah, I mean, because I started off reviewing it, when we started out back the old school, and I mean, it was good. It was just so bouncy. The art was always solid. The story was good. I just have a hard time buying Deathstroke as even an anti-hero.
Yeah, it's tough, man, and it's just weird. But I think they're really big on the non-linear storytelling in Deathstroke too. It's very much like a Pulp Fiction jump back and forth type of story. Yeah. I don't really know. They haven't sold me on this whole new teen team up of his. Like, it's Deathstroke.
Teen Titans or whatever?
Yeah, it's Deathstroke, except he's in a white costume and he's wearing a cape, which Deathstroke does not seem like the cape-wearing type to me.
And then, just in Power Girl, so he's got a young girl to hit on,
Yeah, which is another thing. That's his fascination with young girls.
I know, it's like... when you read a comic and you're like, I don't even know if I should be reading this because this is just wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, I don't know about this. Still, overall, was one of my favorite books of the week, and I will rate this. But before I do, I'll play our rating system so you know what I'm talking about.
If a comic book is bad, we rate it as blasphemy. If the book is good, we give our blessing. If the book is not bad, not good, but just kind of meh, we rate it as stuck in purgatory. If the book is great, we rate it as holy. And if a comic book exceeds all standards of awesomeness, we rate that book as salvation.
Oh, and we actually have a special guest here. Travis just showed up. Hey, Travis, how's it going? Oh, what's that you said? What is it?
I was wrong.
Oh, I know you were, but thank you for coming just to tell us that. I appreciate that. So, anyway, we rated this book I rated this book as a whole. He's going to kill me for that, but
no, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I know. So I rated this book as a holy. Yeah. So what would you give it?
Holy. Man, it's good.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with Titans. I mean, they're better than the Justice League.
Yeah.
2, they're better than the Justice League of America.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're a better team than the Justice League, but I think the book is better than Justice League right now, and the book is definitely better than Justice League of America.
Yeah.
So, that being said, this is a good book. I definitely recommend it. If you're a new reader to the Titans, you should definitely jump on it. And like I said, a good time to get into Deathstroke, so that's definitely a good thing. But we will move things on to Action Comics.
Yes, Action Comics Revenge Part 1. Written by Dan Jurgens, art by Patch Zurcher, and colors by Hi-Fi. The issue starts with a bang. The literal bang of Mongol slamming a bloodied Supes on the ground when he is rudely interrupted by Blank and the Eradicator. They free Mongol from the Black Mercy dream state that was really Mongol's prison. The trio then go to the Himalayas to get one half of the Oblivion Stone, that if reunited with the other half will give the person that does it what he desires most. However, they meet Klon and Dratania, a few refugees that Supes was hiding until he could find a home for them. While all of this is going on, Superman and Lois are looking at a place to live back in Metropolis, and think they found the perfect place equipped with.
This was weird to me because I don't really remember them deciding to make the move into the city. Yeah, but I don't know.
I know, and it feels like, especially because where Superman is in the book, it's like out of continuity. It just feels.
Yeah, it feels like they're about to make, like Lois in the last issue just found out that the town there, Hamilton County, is fake. So it feels like this should have come out a week from now after the next issue when they decide to move. So I don't know. If they
it's
just
like,
messed
okay,
up
so
there.
We're obviously missing something.
Yeah.
But,
so all right, sorry. I didn't mean to
you're
cut
good,
off.
man. I lost my spot. The perfect place equipped with a good enough balcony that Clark can use instead of a phone booth. He reveals that something may be wrong in his Himalayan hideout and is off. He gets there to find the place looking like a room that my 4- and 7-year-old were left alone in for 1 minute. Supes finds that Calyx is all but nuts and bolts and is able to let Superman know that Blank and the Eradicator and Mongol are to blame, and Superman knows that they have found the Oblivion Stone. So the trio of bad guys, the Blank, Mongol, and Eradicator, take the stone back to Hank Henshaw.
Yep.
And becomes
Cyborg
Superman.
Yep, that was awesome.
That was good.
And at first I was like, well, hold on, because if they found the Oblivion Stone, Mongol would just take it and use it for himself. But I like the way that they were like, well, it's only half of it, and Hank Henshaw has the other half. That was a good way to make that sort of make sense to me. Or whatever.
Then I liked how they made Mongol. He made Mongol like kneel and kiss his hand.
Yeah, that last panel was it was hilarious. Yeah, it was.
This is very villainy.
Very villainy book.
Setting up the villains. Marvel, listen. But it had some good Clark and Lois in there doing what they do. Talking about how John's going to react, which I don't think there will be a problem.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
Yeah, other than that, man, it was a good book. It's fast. And it was good character development because I'm sure a lot of people don't know about. I know about Mongol because he's a classic Superman villain. I didn't know anything really about Blank, and I didn't know anything about Klon and Dratina. So I did look them up on the DC Wikipedia type thing.
Oh, cool! What'd you find out?
And there's no information really. All I really found was that Klon and Dratina, they're pre-New 52 inhabitants of the fortress and cannot survive outside of it. So that's why they're stuck in their hideout. But, I mean, why is Superman keeping this a secret? And if they're pre-52,
what's he keeping a secret?
Them. Klon and Dratina.
Oh, like why didn't you tell anyone about them?
I mean, they're dead now, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think maybe that was their prison or whatever.
Those two are good guys. They're not bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
They're refugees.
Weird. Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing to let us know about if you listeners know. I found myself really kind of bored for the first half of this book, but then the second half kind of made up for it with all the villain stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really need to see Lois and Clark house hunting like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like that could have been like a page for me, and I'd have been happy.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So, what did you rate it?
Holy.
Totally.
It would have been a blessing until the Cyborg Superman, and they had you could kind of tell that that's where it was going.
Yeah.
Because it's Hank Henshaw, and we've all talked about it before, but it was good to see it, and they pretty much, they kept him.
Yeah.
Looking like he's always.
Oh yeah, he looks like Cyborg Superman for sure. Yeah, so, I like that. So
touche, I love it. So we got Eradicator and we have Cyborg Superman together. We have
Mongol.
Well, yeah, Mongol.
Mongol's probably gonna be part of the team now.
Yeah. So and they're at the newly transformed moon base for Batman.
Yeah, which you gotta wonder if Batman just doesn't have any type of security where he gets notified about this. Maybe he just figured, hey, it's on the moon. That's enough security. I don't need to, but yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so overall, I rated it a 7.10 out of 10, or I'm sorry, 7.0 out of 10 on the site. It averaged an 8.5, so I was actually the lowest review on there. Most people gave it like an 8 out of 10, but I still think it's in holy territory.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a good book, so I really enjoyed it. So we will keep things moving on here to Suicide Squad number 17. Just 1 second. So Suicide Squad number 17, and who's the creative team on this one?
That would be Williams, Daniels, Flora, Underwood, and Murray. Oh, and one last thing on Action Comics, they do end saying that they are going to recruit Zod.
Yeah, so there's going to be a Suicide Squad crossover coming up, which is appropriate that we're going into Suicide Squad next. So Suicide Squad 17. So the squad is going after the Annihilation Brigade with the help of their new team member, General Zod. Amanda Waller is at the base talking to some blonde lady named Harcourt. And Harcourt is actually going behind Amanda's back and activating a bomb to destroy Belle Rev. So meanwhile, back with the squad, they're battling it out with the Annihilation Brigade. Zod has punched a hole in some guy named Tungsta, who is about to go nuclear and just level their entire hideout, along with all the other captive metahumans that are kept there. So the Annihilation Brigade they're like an international Suicide Squad. Excuse me. They have like a jail there. Bunch of cells full of metahumans, and the metahumans have bombs implanted in their necks, and the metahumans are like, "Let us out! This is inhumane!" And this, the irony there is just great.
Right.
So, right at the last minute before the hideout's about to be blown to smithereens, the Enchantress teleports them all out just before the place explodes. Meanwhile, Harcourt approaches Waller and tells her she's deceived Waller and has been working against Waller the whole time. Of course, Waller knew this and was hiding it, and Captain Boomerang walks up behind Harcourt and puts a metal boomerang through Harcourt's head just as she finds out that she's failed, which is like, holy crap, that's in
awesome.
a DC comic book. Like that was gritty.
Yeah, it was.
Like, you see this thing go straight through her head.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the book, it's funny because like, at the very beginning, Harcourt and Waller, like, they don't really mention the fact that Harcourt's gone behind Waller's back. So Harcourt's like, hey, where's Captain Boomerang? Isn't he on the mission? Waller's like, no, I've got him on something separate. And Harcourt's like, oh, well, you didn't tell me about that. And Waller's like, no, I didn't. And so at the very end of the issue, we get the frame of super pissed off General Zod. He's like, you put a kryptonite brain in my skull. You cut into my skull. Well, I'm going to cut into my skull and get the thing out. So I really think, though, we're going to get into, like, he's not going to be able to do it, and I don't think I think Amanda Waller always has a plan for everything. I don't think she would put a kryptonite bomb in his brain unless she knew 100% that there was no way he could get it out. And plus, he's using his laser eyes to get into the front of his skull, but it's in the back of his skull.
Well, not only that, I'm sorry, but does heat vision not melt mirrors? I mean, come on, people.
I know. What kind of mirror does he have?
I know, right?
That's crazy. Yeah.
I know. It's like, if that was the case, every villain would be equipped with a mirror.
I know.
Superman.
Yeah, they'd all be Mirror Master.
Mirror Master, exactly.
Yeah. So I thought the artwork on this one was really cool. Obviously, just really great artwork. Beautiful stuff.
I love the Zod.
Yeah, Zod was really, really cool looking, I thought. Yeah. Tons of fun, Suicide Squad hijinks. You see Harley Quinn joking around a lot,
And I didn't know that she was a thing with Flag.
Yeah, her and Rick Flag are a romantic item, I guess. So that was something new that's I guess been
she's
going
with
on
Batman
for a while.
and Injustice comic, which I actually
well, she
like
wasn't.
that.
She's not with him
Well,
romantically.
right? She wants
but,
to be her. She wants to be Robin.
Yeah, but she's actually romantic with Rick Flag, which that's crazy. Waller is just a total badass as always. She's just like, you think for a second that someone's kind of gotten one over on her, and then she's like, oh no, you didn't. I knew what was going on the whole time. It's like it's just crazy. Like you're never gonna get one over on her. She's almost like Batman. I mean, she has a contingency for everything,
except the moon base.
Yeah, except the moon base. Well, she might, man. She might have one on the other side of the moon. I mean, we don't know, so I wouldn't put it past her.
It was they mentioned it was like the moon base right after Apollo 15.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool. But
yeah, that was funny. So overall, I give this issue a solid holy, though. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great book, and I recommend it to anyone who wants to read Suicide Squad. It's definitely a good place to jump on to as well. Yeah. Really, the only piece of information you need going into this book is Waller has put a kryptonite bomb into Zod's brain, and he's now working with them. If you know that, you're good to read the issue.
See, I wish that the kryptonite. I'm okay with the kryptonite bomb, but I wish that Waller and Zod were working closer together. I mean, and let their things align, because she could probably reason with him. I mean, he would have alternate motives, of course.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's better than like, hey, you're a prisoner, and then Zod could kill her.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I
definitely.
mean, and wouldn't even think twice about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Give me a good Zod villain book, man, set in like the Phantom Zone or something.
You got my money.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'm really excited for the Krypton series. That Krypton series has been ordered for a series now, by the way.
Right, I read that. And I also read, I don't know if this is true, so people fact check me, but that the basis of Krypton is actually based on a short story that George R.R. Martin wrote. About Krypton, who is the author of Game of Thrones? Yeah,
I didn't know
Song of Wind and Fire.
I didn't know he had any affiliations with DC in the past.
I didn't know that either. But
I mean, he definitely didn't write any comics, I don't think, but he wrote a short story or a novel.
He's written a lot of short stories, and I think he might have actually written some comics too.
Really? Yeah, that'd be interesting to check on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah. So, all right, we will move things on here to Justice League of America.
This won't take long.
As it never does.
All right. Justice League of America, or as I like to call them, the Raycor.
Yeah.
Written by Steve Orlando, art by McDonald, colors by Hi-Fi. The JLA is still working hard to defeat Aegis and his army of mercenaries. This includes flying monsters in the sky above. The JLA are still armed with their stupid Ray-constructed armor that serves no purpose at all. Lobo gets shot with a poison gun, and he has to convince the Ray to kill him by stabbing him in the heart with another Ray constructed sword.
Not kill him, but like he has to convince Ray to cut his heart out,
right,
so that he can regenerate a new clean heart, which is just dumb. It's just silly. I don't know.
Yeah. So he can go back to being the main man.
Yeah.
He comes back with a vengeance. They kick all the bad guys' asses. All the animals that were flying turn into salt.
Yeah,
that's about it.
That's about it. It's really just it's a frustrating book.
It's silly and stupid,
and not in the cute like comic booky way that normally is okay. It's just. I mean, it's just like the dialogue is bad, and I don't know.
Actually, it's not bad. It's salty.
Oh yeah, I
Travis?
like it. I like it. Yeah. So I don't really have much to say about this. This averaged a 5.8 out of 10 on Comic Book Roundup. Yeah. Lowest rating is a 2.0, and there's actually a 2.5. There's a 4.35. I give it a 5 out of 10.
Yeah. I did Purgatory. I put it in Purgatory. I didn't think it deserved Blasphemy like last time. I feel like it has gotten a little bit better. The art was really good. The art was good. I like the Ray and Lobo's connection, but those two together aren't enough.
See, I didn't really like that thing at the end where he's like, "You're a dolphin," and I like dolphins. He calls him a dolphin. It's like, what are you even talking about here? Like, it doesn't even make sense. And then and then they try and go into like Black Canary and Killer Frost relationship. And seriously, man, Black Canary looks like a 7-year-old in this book.
Yeah.
They draw her like a 7-year-old girl.
Well,
it's crazy.
And the Ray constructs did nothing.
There
was no point in them.
I put on my review of it, I put all filler, no killer. It's just a lot of flash. There's a lot going on in the book. There's a lot of very detailed artwork that just still doesn't look good to me because everyone looks like a 10-year-old.
Right.
And there's a lot of information flying around, a lot of bad dialogue, but it's just not enough to carry a book.
And the way that they took out the main bad guy, Adam swinging on a strand of hair and then going back up to full size and knocking him with one punch.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. It's just silly.
Gosh.
Yeah. I don't know. So
get rid of this. Bring me a Justice Society book. Let it take place in the past, so they can commute. So they can talk with like the Watchmen or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but do something, please.
I do think we'll get into like Watchmen territory with the JSA if they wanted to, because the Watchmen existed way back. Right. So like, I mean, if they were to go into telling Watchmen stories, the JSA would be a good connective tissue for that. So that would be cool. That's all we got to say on that, though. We'll move it on to Batman Detective Comics, number 956. So, Batman Detective Comics, Lady Shiva and Orphan are going at it both verbally and physically from the very start of this issue. We get some pretty cool fight sequences between those two, along with Batman, who is trying to help Orphan out. Batman also sends Luke Fox and Azrael to try and defuse the giant bomb that's about to destroy Gotham City. Kate gets wounded, and Clayface takes her up to the street level of Gotham, away from any further danger. And then up in the sky, Colonel Kane is arguing with Ulysses because Ulysses is about to set off a bomb that's going to destroy Gotham, but will also destroy Lady Shiva and all of her ninja assassins. Colonel Kane spots his daughter, Kate, down on the streets and puts it all on hold. He's like, no, don't set this bomb off. And Ulysses is like, what, just so your daughter can have a 1% chance of surviving? And Colonel Kane's like, you're damn right. Yeah. So meanwhile, down in the sewers, Orphan finally beats her mom in combat, and we get a little flashback of Lady Shiva talking to Roz about something, but we don't quite find out what. And just as it appears that Lady Shiva may open up to Orphan a little bit, she whispers something to Orphan, and then she gets shot right through the heart by Ra's al Ghul. Roz just shows up out of nowhere and kills her. He makes a deal with Batman to let him disarm the bomb that Lady Shiva, was going to blow Gotham up with. At the end of the issue, we get a couple pages of Batman and Kate talking, and the big reveal here is that Roz somehow used magic against them, and that's what he's going to have to use in the upcoming war. Which we still, we know that's going to be the rebirth thing, but we don't know much about it. So yeah, on this one I said we wanted a showdown between Shiva and Orphan, but instead we got a showdown with Shiva and Batman's Outcast team. I really wanted to just see those two be one-on-one against each other, which we got a little bit, but not quite as much as I wanted. We got some cryptic message about Roz using magic, but it's just not really very much as revealed here. Still, the art was fun. I think that's enough to keep it out of purgatory for me, and I gave it a blessing. What did you think about this book?
Same blessing. I thought it was good, not great. It's definitely a builder.
Yeah,
it'll be good to see what happens next time.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like it was a finale. I think like it just wasn't a grand enough finale, and a lot of it was spent setting up future issues, and it was supposed to be like a conclusion to this whole story arc of League of Shadows, and it just didn't seem like much of a conclusion to me. The artwork too didn't really wow me on this one. I mean, it's not bad, but it just wasn't amazing. I don't know. It just wasn't my favorite issue of the week. I still think it was good. If you're reading Detective Comics, you probably read this one. I don't really think you need to have read it though, and you can probably jump in next issue because that's going to pick up a new story arc. So, and then we got The Button coming out next week, which is going to be, obviously that's the conclusion to that. We are not going to have a review copy for this. They're not giving us a review copy for it, so they're playing this one close to the vest. So I'm going to buy the digital issue at midnight on Wednesday. and write up a review for it that night. But yeah, they're playing it. There's something that's going to be revealed in that one, and we don't know what yet, but it's going to be a big deal. So I'm excited for that. But other than that, I don't really have much else for reviews today.
I got something real quick.
Yeah,
so
what's up?
I guess I just lied. The Krypton is not based on a George R.R. Martin. It was just really worded really bad in the article. It was talking about Krypton was put, and then a George R.R. Martin short story called Night Flyers on Sci-Fi was put to a series order, which actually sounds really, really cool.
Oh, cool.
So
yeah, I have a theory. I think that Krypton, they probably leaked that trailer just to get a reaction from fans to see if people dug it. And it's the same thing as what happened with the Deadpool movie trailer, which like one out of 3 people leaked it just to raise hype for it.
Right.
And that probably caused like a lot of people to, they saw that everyone likes this, and so they ordered a series for it. I saw the trailer before they took it offline, and I thought it was awesome, man.
I like it because they could do whatever they want, because there's really no. I mean, it's 2 generations before Superman.
It looks like a very Star Warsy book,
right? So hopefully, my question will finally be answered: was there ever a Green Lantern on Krypton?
Yeah, we'll find out.
I mean, because they did say that there will be
other DC characters,
connected, but I mean, who?
They could have the Lanterns, Martian Manhunter,
the Lanterns. I mean, that's really
the Anti-Monitor.
Yeah,
I mean, any space person they could have. So
yeah.
So this week we didn't record Communion in time. We normally record it on Thursday morning. But I had to work overtime, and I woke up that morning and I was just exhausted. So I just went back to sleep, and we decided to record it today. So we're actually going to just put both of the shows on one episode for you guys, so you're getting a little double trouble from us. So I got nothing else before we send them off to Communion.
Great books. Great books coming on Communion. Supergirl was fantastic.
Haven't read it yet. I'm about to.
It's pretty much, it's a Supergirl, Batgirl story. It's awesome. Book of the week.
Oh, gosh. My book of the week was probably Titans.
Red Hood and Outlaws for me.
Yeah, Red Hood and the Outlaws was up there. It was a really good one.
Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey was really good.
I'll give it.
I haven't finished it yet.
I'm gonna give my book of the week this week to Birds of Prey. I want to see how Communion goes.
Okay.
And the one thing I do have to say about that was I wish there was some interaction between Green Arrow and Nightwing, because I wanted it and I didn't get it.
Yeah, but it's not about them either.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I want Green Arrow and I want Nightwing, and I want them to be friends. I want them to be like, hey, come partner up with me. High five, thumbs up, knuckle bump. That's what I want.
Yeah, I know, but we didn't. Yeah,
I know.
I mean, there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen with that book. There's a lot of players, so they have to balance it and keep it centralized on the main characters. So
I know, but yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I think my book of the week definitely probably goes to Titans, though. I think that was the best art, best story, nice team up, just really good story all around. So, so we'll tweet at the authors about both of those. But that's all we got for you guys. So unless you have something else, if you want to find me anywhere, I'm on Twitter at IndieComicBen, or me and Brad are both on Twitter at Nerd Church Radio. Brad, what's your personal Twitter account?
Bradley, BRADLEY _ Butin, BUTIN.
And that's all we got for you guys. So I'll say peace be with you.
And also with you.
And go forth and read comics.
Peace out, planet Earth.
All right, and welcome to part 2 of your DC Comics Nerd Church Radio episode this week, DC Communion. I'm your host, Ben Dupé.
I am Noah O'Toole.
And I'm the wife, Ariel Dupé.
Yep, Ariel the Oracle. And we normally... NCR is a DC Comics fans podcast, and we normally split this up into 2 weekly episodes, but... Man, this week I worked 50 hours at my full-time job, which is more than I'm used to. I'm not a big overtime person, so I normally am just used to 40 hours, and so 50 was crazy.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to record on Thursday morning, and I just woke up Thursday, and I was exhausted, and I had to be at work early again, and I felt bad because I had pushed it off again and again, but we were just like, we'll just do it all Saturday. So, and with Mother's Day on Sunday, I was like, we're just going to wipe everything out Saturday. Saturday, and then
keep
we'll
Sunday free.
Have Mother's Day festivities, and then we'll have a little bit of time left at the end of Mother's Day just to decompress and stuff. So, yeah, how you doing this week, Noah?
I'm doing very good. I'm doing especially good because, like, I'm on the edge of my seat for Injustice 2 to come out.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. I'm sure most of the listeners are probably video game fans as well and have it on their list. So, boy, the characters they're throwing, this is just going to be the best one yet.
Yeah, so I've talked to some people who they aren't video game fans, and I've seen a very popular trend with people on this is they'll just go on YouTube and watch the movie of the story. Like someone will supercut the story together.
Right. Or stream it and you can,
Yeah, so I bet that there's a lot of people that are going to do that. I myself will play through story mode. So Tuesday, I probably won't be playing online with you guys. Tuesday is when it comes out, right?
Yeah, technically, yep.
So I'll probably play through the story. That'll take me a couple days, and then I'll get, and that'll get me acclimated to the controls. And then I think I'm going to schedule your ass whooping for Thursday morning is when I'll be kicking your ass.
I'll be sure to be on.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
I'm gonna mix the story in with the verses because I want to gear up and what character are you most excited to play?
I'm kind of a cheap shot when it comes to Injustice. I really like Green Lantern, that move where he grabs you with your ring and slams you back and forth.
That's a good one.
Because you can stay at just a safe enough distance where you can't reach and grab me.
Yeah.
And people would hate that because I had like a 15 combo hit where I would do that and then throw you across and bounce and I had this perfect combo. And I just did it I think 4 times and it would kill you. And so it was just people hated playing with me though. Because I pretty much did the same move all the time.
Yeah, one of those people. That's right. Yep.
I'm not the guy who
block and then counter.
Yeah, and I don't know. I did that sometimes, and sometimes I would play with Batman.
Yeah,
I liked his grapple gun, and
fun.
He had this kick that would bounce you, all the way across and back, and then you'd level punch someone. So Batman is one. I'm really excited for the new roster though.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Wonder Woman gets a little better gameplay because she was one of the characters that I hate to say I just didn't enjoy playing with her in the Injustice.
She was hard for me to play, and I tried, but she had the 2 different weapon sets, and it was just a little bit too much to play. And I think that's gone now. She has a different special set or whatever. But I'm definitely most pumped for Poison Ivy.
Yeah,
the little plant and her whip bolo thing you can see in some of the previews. Look,
it's funny because a lot of these characters people are excited about, but I played with them on the Injustice mobile app, like the first one.
Yeah.
Because in the Injustice mobile app, I played that before I ever played the console version. But there was tons of characters that came out for that were never on the game. They were just Darkseid was on that. So I played with Darkseid on the mobile one. So I kind of know. I mean, I know that's not a very fair
comparison.
Yeah, I guess, or
whatever you want.
Yeah, complex. It's not a very complex gameplay on that. But,
gotcha.
But you do kind of get a feel for how he moves and stuff.
Yeah.
So how he just keeps his arm behind his back and strikes you a little bit, and then he always maintains his composure or whatever.
Yeah. He looks like he's gonna play a little bit like General Zod from the first one because he kind of had that just stand and hover and zap and
military almost.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. I think it'll be fun. So I'll probably try out all the characters, and that's why I like the story mode so much is because you can you play with everyone through the story,
right, and experience part of their world for a little bit,
and look up the combos for them online and stuff like that. So I always like to do that. So that's really fun, and you don't really feel like you're cheating because it still takes a lot of work to figure out how to do it, even though you look it up.
The timing and
So why don't we jump into a little bit of news? We went into news at the first part of the show with Brad, but I know we have some more news. And then we also, I got Brad tagged me in an article, and I kind of want to read about it on the show because it involves DC. So let's jump over to the news. All right, so news this week. We already mentioned on the show earlier that Dick Grayson Nightwing has a new story coming out. Do you know about this?
I've just read very little
about it.
Futuristic,
story.
Right?
Yep. So Brad tagged me in an article about 5 minutes ago. He says, DC fans aren't thrilled Nightwing is being secret empired. And I don't know what that means, but So the article says Dick Grayson, the first person to bear the Robin mantle and the current reigning Nightwing, is looking to create a world without superheroes in DC's upcoming miniseries Nightwing: The New Order. Secret Empire, meaning making him evil like they made
Captain evil.
Okay, so jumping over a decade into the future of DC Universe, Nightwing will lead an army of highly skilled soldiers in hunting down the remaining superheroes. As one of DC's most beloved characters, most fans seem a little upset about this new storyline. The official synopsis, as reported by Screen Rant's Nightwing: The New Order, is the story of a future world without weapons where superpowers have been eliminated and outlawed. The man responsible, none other than Dick Grayson, a.k.a. Nightwing, now leader of a government task force called the Crusaders, who are charged with hunting the remaining supers. But when events transpire which turn the Crusaders' aim toward Grayson's own family, the former Boy Wonder must turn against the very system he helped create with help from the very people he's been hunting for years, the last metahumans of the DC universe. Then I guess fans are a little upset about that. I think the story is, I don't know. I think fans are jumping the gun. I feel like the story's more complex than that.
Yeah, it probably will be. It's definitely a bit of a 180 from what you expect from Dick Grayson and Nightwing and all that. That's for sure. But if they tell the story right and they give me a compelling reason to believe he would turn against superheroes and want to because who knows what could happen obviously. But I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like. I don't know, man. Like, you just have to be open-minded when it comes to stuff like this. Captain America turning evil or turning against him, with Hydra, I didn't really have a big, connection to him in the first place. Like, he's a macho sign of America. It's, kind of everything that I don't really give a shit about. But, turning him evil, it's okay, that seems like a very comic booky thing to do. Obviously, good guys turn bad guys turn good all the time. But if you can turn that into a compelling story or like you said, make it. So with Dick Grayson, it's the same thing. Is I don't think he's an outright bad guy. I think maybe it's sort of a Civil War type thing where the government had to intervene with the superpowered heroes because it was just getting out of hand. And he sided with the government, much like Iron Man sided with the government in Civil War.
And it reminds me of Batman versus Superman. Batman's against superpowers because he's human and he kind of always takes in. So and Dick Grayson is basically Bruce Wayne. Yeah. They can semi be interchangeable a little bit. Yeah, so exactly. It kind of makes sense to me that I can see them pursuing this story. But like you said, I kind of have to read it before I can really give an opinion on it. It's definitely out there.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll just have to wait and see. Ariel, what are your thoughts on this?
I was pretty upset with Cap because I want something to be uncorruptible. Our society is just kind of messed up, and I want that little bit of hope to just stay there. So when he turned evil, and I don't think he's quite evil.
Yeah, I don't either. That's the thing. If you read Secret Empire, I get the sense that he's not really evil, but that things aren't what they seem.
But still, I just want him to be untouchable. Nightwing, on the other hand, has this more humanistic. He was raised by Batman, so he already has daddy issues. So seeing him struggle with his identity and himself in society, I can see that kind of going that way where he'd be superheroes aren't that great. They're hurting more than they're helping.
I'm thinking, what if Batman got killed by a superhero? Yeah. And that's what drove him, to be all right, I'm done with superheroes. Yeah. They need to, but.
I do wonder if this will cross over with the Batman Beyond books at all because they both take place in the future. I would certainly like to see that. That would be a cool way to take it.
I hope it's kind of Elseworlds, though, because the only thing that bothers me a little bit is that it's, 10 years in the future? I think it said,
I believe so.
And almost all the superheroes are eliminated. So if that's fact, then we know that Wonder Woman and Superman have a 10-year lifespan for what we're reading now, and they're all going to die. I don't like that. So something's got to change, or it's got to be an Elseworlds thing. Or
it's Elseworlds. It is Elseworlds.
It is Elseworlds. Yeah. Oh, well, then who gives a...
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I read that
I was
no, I was reading the article and I searched the word Elseworld, and it said Superman Red Sun was a 3-issue prestige comic taking place in DC's Elseworld in 2003.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if this is going to be Elseworld. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I really think it has to be, though. It really does. So we'll find out though. Ariel, you had some news.
Yeah, I have quite a bit of news actually.
Nice.
As we know, Wizard World is next weekend. Ooh. Very exciting. Mm-hmm. We're actually having some pretty cool guests coming, which is surprising. Ben, really? You'll be excited about this. Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer will be there.
I don't care. There's literally no one on this roster that I care about.
John Cusack will be there. Which I can go and slap him and say, "Why do you keep making bad
I like
movies?"
John Cusack, yeah.
I don't. I can't.
I do like John Cusack, actually.
I mean, I've got a place in my heart for him, you know what I mean? He's, yeah.
Yeah, Empire, and wasn't he in Empire? Or no, what's the record store?
Oh,
the record store, yeah, Empire Records.
Oh, no.
No. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care.
Anyway, yeah.
Hold on, I need to...
I like the identity.
High Fidelity.
High Fidelity, that's
yes,
right. That's
thank you.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. No, that was an awesome movie.
No, stupid.
Okay.
Napoleon Dynamite will be there.
Yeah, John Heder.
The Holly Combs from Charmed will be there. And what I'm most excited about is Robert Englund will be there. He was Freddy Krueger.
Yep. See, the thing that I'm not excited about the local Comic-Con is I hate Wizard World as an organization. I just don't like them. They announced guests. Like, they just canceled one of their biggest guests, Charlie Sheen, at the very last minute. It's like they do this, like they did this last year with us too. Like they announced all sorts of guests. They made it seem like it was going to be a packed event. And then when artists paid for tables and stuff, like a lot of people were really pissed because it was a really flat show. And I hated them back in the early 2000s when they were putting up magazines. I don't know, like stuff like that.
But they've never had this like high of guests, have they?
I think the first one was the best show. And then like the second one was less good. And this third one... I don't know. I'm thinking about still maybe going to it because it's a local Comic-Con and I can talk about the podcast to people. But I've talked to a lot of people at the comic shop about it, and everyone seems like they have a pretty low opinion.
Yeah, I'm going to go one day. I'm not gonna, I would usually get a 3-day pass and get a costume and all that stuff, but not. I'm probably going to go one day. But I mean, in its, I want to say in its defense because that's not the right word. But to one encouraging thing to go is, I believe Aunt Lucia is going to be there, who's responsible for the DC bombshells.
And he's from Iowa.
And he's from Iowa. Yep, I actually met him a long time ago in 2007, and when he was doing the Spook Show pinups, and got him and had him sign a couple of those. So now I have a couple variant covers of Wonder Woman, with the Rosie the Riveter thing and stuff. So I want him to sign those. And I believe Phil Hester, who I've also met, is going to be there, and he's done
nice.
Wonder Woman and stuff before as well. So he's also very, very nice guy.
Yeah.
So both those people are definitely cool. And there's a third one there, but I don't remember who it was. But so yeah, I do like the creators and artists that managed to come through, even though it's only a couple of them this time, but they're ones I like.
I think that last year was everyone knew it was a flop. Everyone was upset. I think they're gonna try really hard to make
come back
this
from
better.
That.
Yeah. So I have high hopes for it. And gotta represent Iowa.
Yeah, always.
Hey, Powerless, which was airing on
Thursdays.
Yep, has been canceled.
Without
3 unaired episodes.
Yeah, and I'm hoping against hope that with DC's new streaming service, they'll give us access to those 3 episodes.
I hope so too, and I hope they release the rest of them on Hulu, at least because that's something how I catch up on them and stuff. But yeah, that was kind of a bummer.
Yeah, they their last episode dropped 30% in viewership. So I mean, I think it was only 2.1 million viewers, and even though that sounds like a lot in TV
not
world,
in TV world, yeah, especially for prime time.
Yes, and then I have some good news for us.
Good news, everyone!
Issue number 22 of Justice League will not be written by Brian Hitch.
That is good news.
Oh, who's it written by?
It is written by. Oh, I just had this. Oh my gosh.
Justice League 22.
I have it up.
Not Brian.
Shay Fontana.
Oh, she's in Wonder Woman.
Yep.
Art will be by Philip Bronze, which he's hoping to too. I don't know if this is a permanent transition. I just know that he's writing for issues number 22. I'm really hoping it does so well that they're like, hey, stay on. Brian Hitch, go away.
Yeah, I gotta hope so, man. I know sales numbers haven't really backed off of Justice League from the last thing I heard. And that's really the only thing that'll get you canceled from a book at DC, I think. I mean, you can get all the negative reviews you want, but if the sales are still there, they're gonna keep you on the book, probably. So.
What's interesting, though, is Brian Hitch just started a new arc.
Yeah, like
so
last
I don't know
issue.
if he's going to finish it. I can't remember what number Justice League on. I think it was on 20. So it's either going to be a really short arc or it's just going to be scratched altogether.
Yeah.
Well, unless this guy picks up, which I hope not. I hope he does something new.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see.
So that's it for my news.
Awesome. Noah, did you have any news?
Nope, no new news.
Awesome. Well, let's move things on to the book reviews. All right, so book reviews for this week. I'm going to start things off here with All-Star Batman number 10. Story on this one is by Scott Snyder, and pencils, inks, colors, and variant cover by Raphael Albuquerque, and colors are also by Jordi Belair on this one. And I'm starting off with this one because I really like this book, and I was surprised to really like this book. So we open up with the narrative of a father talking about his son. We also get a teenager who we're led to believe is Bruce Wayne in London running from cops after defacing public property. The narrative is actually Alfred talking about Bruce, and the teen running from the cops is also actually Alfred. This is a nice way to kind of frame up the events of the story, I thought. Batman's now chasing down Hush to get information in present day on the Genesis engine. And this is no normal engine. This thing turned Anatoly into the KG Beast. So it's not to be trifled with. Bats and Alfie catch Hush and are able to get Hush to tell them what the engine's... tell them that the engine's on its way to Fort Dexter with some defector named Hatch. Now Bruce has to penetrate Fort Dexter and make it alive with the Genesis engine. And here's where we get into pirate territory. And I love it anytime you mix bats in with a pirate story. So but these aren't your normal pirates. They're a little more upper class, like sea gangsters kind of. Bruce shows up to try and infiltrate Fort Dexter, but is shot because he's from Gotham City and they can't have Batman sneaking in to their hideout, which I thought was funny because it is Batman sneaking into their hideout. Bruce uses the priceless painting he brought there as a shield to protect him because it apparently has a piece of iron on the back of it. He subdues all the pirates shooting at him and finds Hatch, but Hatch isn't in any shape to give out information about the Genesis engine. In fact, he was tortured and murdered, and that's where our story leaves off. So I thought this was a fantastic upgrade from where we've been with All-Star Batman. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely an upgrade from where we've been. I was really impressed with the art. Yeah, I thought it was very stylized, but very detailed and incredible, and it really portrayed action in the art. And I love when they do that. It was.
I tend to agree with you there, man. The artwork, and the artwork's never really been a problem on All-Star Batman.
No,
I feel like they've always had this really weird stylized art.
Yeah, but they've always had a weird stylized story too. And this time, at least, the story's a little bit more. Yeah. I want to say straightforward, but I mean, maybe,
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
That's been the thing that's been so frustrating for me about All-Star Batman is that the art is there. It's been there for all 10 issues. Scott Snyder's there. He should, in theory, be an amazing writer. He's written wonderful Batman stories in the past. But for some reason, I don't know if it was a scripting issue or a storyboarding issue, but the story just wasn't there for the last 9 issues. But this 10th one, it seems like, I don't know, man. Maybe he bought a bunch of acid and has just been tripping his balls off over the last 6 months. I don't know. He's just been writing some weird stuff, but this brought things home really well for me. So, Ariel, what did you think about this issue?
Gordon and Alfred are my favorite side characters in Marvel and DC and indie comic.
Alfred is awesome.
I love Alfred, right?
Alfred and Gordon, I would watch movies just on them. So the fact that this is an Alfred story just put it over the top for me.
Nice. Yeah, I give this one a strong holy, though, in my opinion. What would you rate it?
Yep, I gave it a holy, too. Yeah.
Holy.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Very cool. Well, that was quick but fun. We will move things on. Why don't we talk about... I don't know who has what this week, but why don't we talk about Red Hood and the Outlaws?
All right, that would be me. So, Red Hood and the Outlaws number 10. Who is Artemis? Part 2, Sins of the Past. Scott Lobdell is, of course, the writer, and Dexter Soy is, of course, on art. So a little backstory. Previously in Red Hood and the Outlaws, we have Red Hood, Artemis, and Bizarro. They've all traveled to Quark in an attempt to recover the Bow of Ra. Red Hood was captured and imprisoned in the same place he was murdered by the Joker many years ago. Artemis was captured by her former and once dead friend Aquila, and Bizarro is currently trying to help a group of refugees from this war-torn country. So Bizarro is still trying to find Jason and Artemis, all while leading this group of refugees from Quark. His leadership skills are a bit off as he leads the group straight into a mountain, like smack into the side of a mountain. Bizarro isn't one to let little old thing like a mountain stand in his way, so he just punches his way right through it. Meanwhile, Artemis is feasting with her former sisters, the Amazons of the Bana Migdal. She's struggling with the reality of being face-to-face with her former best friend turned murderous Shimtar Aquila, whom she was forced to kill to save the world many years ago. Jason Todd is dealing with the drama and trauma of being in the same place where the Joker murdered him, and he uses the element of surprise to de-arm a guard and turn the gun on General Henlel, the man who they think has the Bow of Ra, and shot down the Outlaws' plane. Only, surprise, it wasn't him after all. He confesses that he couldn't control the bow's power, so he resurrected the Shimtar. Jason suddenly realizes Artemis is in great danger, and right on cue, we cut back to Bana Migdal, where Aquila calls for her mistress as the Bow of Ra appears, and she vows to watch the world burn.
This is so good.
So, yes, it is. I said in the review I wrote online, 1988's Death in the Family, which is where you paid 50 cents to call and vote to kill Jason Todd.
Yeah.
Ranks as among the lowest points in comic book history, next to the Killing Joke in Green Lantern 54, which was where the fridging took place.
Oh, yeah. And I go back and forth on that because I think those are really important moments in DC comic book history, but I think they're also very flawed moments.
They were great moments. They were just executed poorly, in my opinion. But yeah. Anyway, so I mean, for me, and I mean, everybody likes Dick Grayson, but him kind of notwithstanding, Jason Todd's my favorite Robin. I love him, and so I liked getting to see the way he dealt with this afterwards, making him a character who's gone through trauma and has, some mental health issues along, with everything. And I just think that's important to write about and have a character that does that. And it kind of, reclaims the brutality of the way they killed him off back then. So I like that. I thought it was kind of empowering. And the storyline just keeps you guessing. You're like, okay, is Aquila the bad guy? Is General Henlel the bad guy? Okay, no, Aquila's the bad guy. No, General, and he's like, it's just all back and forth. So, and as always, Dexter Soy is just amazing with the art, and everything that Bizarro does and says is just absolutely hilarious. So, as always, this is just super, super holy book. Love it.
Nice. I do too, man. I couldn't agree with you more. It's a very fun read. The artwork's always been awesome. I really like that narrative that we got with Jason Todd kind of talking to his former self.
To his Robin self.
Yeah. I mean, that was a really nice framing device that they used. I thought it was a very well told story.
Yeah. And I like that it included the Joker because he's such a big important character, and like that, we had the Joker in the story without having the Joker in the story.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
and they've done that a couple times in Rebirth now. They did it with they did it with Batman Beyond. I think they had Joker in there, and we've had him in some fantasies and Batman. And I'm really excited because in Tom King's Batman, we're actually. Did you see the cover for it? It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle being put together.
Yeah.
But it's the Joker's face, and it's halfway put together, and
cool.
Batman's hands are putting it together.
Yeah.
So we're
because there's three of them supposedly, right?
Yep,
right.
They
so
haven't
we'll find that out.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So so I'm excited for that. It's going to be fun. So what did you think about this one, Ariel?
So honestly, I probably would have called in to get Jason Todd killed.
Would you? Yeah.
I never
he wasn't written very good.
He wasn't at the time. He was the least popular Robin, and
But since then they have written him a lot better.
Yeah, Red Hood is such a
important
new character.
Because you have Dick, who's just Dick Grayson. He's just everything perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Then Tim is a genius and really technical and can really work stuff.
Yeah.
And then Damien's the little brat son.
Right, the biological one, so you got to put up with him.
Yeah, so Jason just kind of always, I was like, whatever. But this book is changing my mind. I've been really into it, so I give it a holy.
Nice.
I agree. All right, cool. Yeah, and I gave it a holy too. You did too
as
well, no?
Yep.
Okay, cool. We will move things on. Actually, I totally spaced this, but we have a listener line where listeners can call and leave us a voicemail, and we have promised to play those on the show for you. So actually, I have a couple messages here we can play and listen to on air. I've heard one of them. One of them's Brad, and I have not heard the other one. So I don't know who it's from. I don't know what's up with it. So we will play that just a sec.
It's been on its way out. Haven't got it yet.
Who? Someone.
Butt dial us?
I don't know how you butt dial
us after leaving us the message the first time, and this is him and his kids.
That didn't sound like Brad in the background.
Oh.
All right, I'll now play Brad's message as well.
So this is what a guy's got to do to get on the communion show. Hey, I read the book. It's pretty darn awesome. Best book being probably Titans. Titans is a holy. Red Hood and the Outlaws.
Yep.
Holy.
Yep.
Wonder Woman. Holy.
Yep.
But can't compete when Green Arrow and Nightwing meet each other.
You're not wrong, Brad. Okay. Yep. All right. Thank you for that, Brad. We really appreciate it. Yeah, and I got to figure out who butt dialed us, because I don't think it was Brad, actually, because that came in 2 days later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that came in on the 13th, that's yesterday, right? Or today?
Today.
Yeah, it's today, 11:30 a.m., so I don't know. The thing about the voicemail line is, I mean, it's like the phone number to call and leave us a message, again, if you need it, is 641-715-3900, extension 345703. I cannot in a million years picture someone butt dialing that on accident. That's just too many digits.
Right.
So I don't know. I wish that we had gotten the message. But anyway, no harm, no foul. We will move things on here. Why don't we talk about a little bit of Supergirl?
Supergirl.
What number is this, by the way?
Number 9. Written by Steve Orlando, art by Brian Ching, yes, and colors by Michael Atiyeh.
You liked Brian Ching's art on this?
Oh, I was so happy he was back, because he was gone for an issue, and then he came back.
I hear that.
So, the girls are back in town. Barbara Gordon is in National City to attend a clean energy exposition. Joining her is Ben and Supergirl. Yes, Supergirl, not Kara. Things go horribly wrong when the beast of a man from the future, Magog, attempts an attack on Supergirl. Either indirectly or purposely, he hits the Eidolon, or Eidolon, whatever. It's the generator that generates phantom energy, which they were trying to use to create clean air, but of course created a phantom zone instead. Comics.
Because comics!
Worst science exhibits
what?
Exposition ever. This is why I'm glad my husband's the editor.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not editing that.
Baby.
All right.
But with the help of now Batgirl, who changed randomly, the gals managed to get most of the people to safety. When Ben gets sucked in, the girls see no choice but to go in after him. So, a lot of people like this book, and I thought it was good. I didn't like the cattiness between Batgirl and Supergirl. It felt very unnatural, and I don't understand why it was there at all. Especially in Batman Annual, they were great. But
they're right.
Yeah.
They were very, it was very subtle cattiness.
It did seem a little weird to me. That was just from me, who hasn't been reading Supergirl. I did read that Annual, which I kind of like that Annual. But yeah, their relationship here seemed a little off to me.
Yeah, and then a guy from the future coming back to stop someone. We've heard this story a lot, so I don't know if this is going to be involved with the bigger picture, or if all the writers are just yeah, time. Let's do whatever we can with
time problems. Yeah, let's do it. Go back to the future.
You get a time problem. You get a time problem. Everyone gets a time problem.
Check under your chair for a time problem.
But, I still liked it. I gave it a blessing just because I'm so happy Brian Ching is back. I love his style. It took a while for me to like it, but I love it, and I look forward to just seeing his beautiful art every week.
Nice. Very cool. I like it. So, yeah, and rating?
Blessing.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one, too. I enjoyed it. I like the artwork. I thought it was a solid read, and it actually got me on the boat for Supergirl now, so I've been looking for a decent jumping on point, and I felt like this was a good point for me to jump on. I don't know. What do you guys feel like?
I liked it. I mean, I gave it a blessing as well. I thought it was really cool that they were in the Phantom Zone, and I got to see inside the Phantom Zone, because I just think that's...
Yeah.
that's cool. And then they said something about I feel cold from the inside out, and Kara was like, or Supergirl was like, well, that's part of the punishment, for the prisoners and all that stuff. And I thought that was all pretty cool.
The antagonist in the Phantom Zone looked very like, mwahaha.
Right.
I was like, where's your cat? You should be petting him.
Yeah. Mr. Biggles.
Yeah. A little bit of breaking news that just came in. I don't know if it's breaking news really, but I just got an email from comicbook.com. If anyone watches The Flash, I don't know why this should even matter. I don't know why I got an email from comicbook.com about this, but Flash star Wally West comes out as bisexual apparently.
He doesn't even come out.
In the show?
No, like
in the comic book?
No, like in real life.
Oh, the actor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, good for you.
I guess like he made a
bunch of the rest of the world.
He made a really long like Twitter post about it. I don't know. It actually seems like a pretty cool thing because he's talking towards like transgender and stuff.
Yeah,
and
that's good.
I mean, it seems like a genuinely solid thing to do. I haven't read the whole post yet, so I don't know. But that's cool. I guess.
Oh, cool.
Whatever.
Good for him.
So yeah. Was there? Oh yeah. And we mentioned this earlier, but Wonder Woman is coming out, and I got to apologize to listeners because we were doing the Wonder Woman podcast, but then Noah, Ariel, and I decided to start our own just weekly show, and that Wonder Woman podcast kind of fell to the wayside. So Noah, I'm sorry.
We got a couple of them in, and
yeah.
I'm sure we'll be able to talk about some of the things during the actual Wonder Woman podcast when the movie comes out. So we'll have plenty to cover. So
we're coming back here right after the movie to record that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm stoked about that, man. It's going to be so much fun, and we'll get a review out like the day the movie comes out. So it's going to be awesome. But all right, enough of that. Speaking of strong and powerful women, I'm going to move things on to Superwoman number what? What number is this? I don't even know. 10. Superwoman number 10. And wow, it seems crazy to me that we're only on to 10, but okay. So Rediscovery Part 1. This is a good jumping on point for people, I think. Actually, and the last issue was really a good jumping on point as well, but this is also one. So we open up with Lana Lang being strangled and wearing what looks like a super suit. Kind of reminds me of like a red version of the Bumblebee suit a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we jump over to a young girl named Natasha waiting on her deadbeat villain dad to pick her up from school, which he doesn't. Then we jump back forward to a grown-up Natasha who's eating with Lana and John, a.k.a. Superwoman and Steel. They head over to Steelworks where we find out the Insect Queen armor is it's letting off some kind of readings. So they're going to have Superwoman go into the deprivation chamber of the Insect Queen armor and attempt to get access to the super suit. This part confused me. Can either of you kind of explain like what the deal is with like they're getting readings from the Insect Queen armor, so she's going into the deprivation tank to see if the armor will accept her? Is that what's going on?
I'm not 100% sure.
No?
I've only read Superwoman for the past couple of issues now, so I don't know where the Insect Queen armor exactly came from and what armor she was wearing before that, so I was kind of confused as to that.
Superwoman wasn't wearing armor before this.
Right, because she had power.
Yeah, she didn't need it.
She didn't need it, so yeah.
But I do know that like this insect armor stuff was brought up in the Rebirth story arc somewhere, because a friend of mine told me she was going to get a super suit when she lost her powers.
Okay.
They predicted that. So Ariel, do you?
I read all the issues, and for the life of me, I can't remember the suit.
Can't?
I remember her going into like a tube type thing, and that's what kind of sucked her powers out. And
Okay.
something going with like, even though her powers were sucked out, the suits was still safe, and I think that's somehow correlated.
Okay. Well, Jim Warner, you're going to have to email me on this one or send me a Twitter message and let me know. I'm sure you will. So there are some malfunctions at the deprivation chamber, and it almost kills Lana. Like, it just suddenly starts firing guns at her for no reason.
I think she's at full power.
Yeah, okay, but the super suit actually activates, and she's now Superwoman again, but not with superpowers. She has a super suit similar to, like, Lex Luthor's.
Luthor,
Yep. So the final part of this book is Lana waking up from a dream and hearing on the news that a baddie is broken out of Stryker's Island prison. Superwoman goes to take care of him, and we leave off exactly where this issue started and her being strangled by the monster, except in this panel she's smiling and has flaming red fiery eyes and is ready to kick some ass with a now restored Superwoman. So I really enjoyed this story. I think that Superwoman was a book at the beginning that I kind of saw as a joke and it's not because of the character, because I love strong female characters just as much as the next guy, but I thought the writing was a little crappy on it, and they just didn't give her the love that she deserved. That being said, this what's her name? Perkins, Kay Perkins, I think is the name of the person. She jumped on this book. She's killing it, man. She's writing a really good Superwoman. It's a cohesive story with a solid narrative, good artwork. I don't know, man. It gets a holy for me. I enjoyed this one more than I enjoyed books that like Detective Comics. Mm-hmm. So
I gave it a holy as well. It was a great jumping on point, and I wanted to like Superwoman, and I definitely do now. Yeah. The art was great. She's just so they made her just so pretty. I loved her, just the way they drew her and everything. It was awesome, and I actually really I'm like down with the super suit, and just it differentiates her in a her own way, and as less of a super clone.
Exactly. Yeah, she's not Superman except a woman. She's more of a like. A real person who just has armor now, and I hope we go into because she was bulletproof before, so I hope we go into now she's gonna have to learn to start guarding her head and stuff, and actually learn how to, because a super suit isn't the same as Kryptonian abilities. You gotta learn how to fight and stuff. I mean, it'll protect you and give you some abilities, but you have to learn how to use it. I really love this panel with her getting accepted by the armor and just
her, changing colors and
and her red hair, man, and she's just an interest. And that last panel of her being choked or whatever, and
in the rain.
But the first panel was her looking kind of terrified or whatever and being choked, and then that last one, the way they circled right back to it, where it's that same thing, but she looks like I'm gonna kill you. That was just awesome. To me.
And I love the cover. It has a very Rosie the Riveter-ish. Kind of cover because she's got the hammers and things, and it's like, oh, that's badass.
Oh yeah, you're right. I do like that. Ariel, what did you think about this issue?
There is a really cool moment when she was in the deprivation tank where she's on the floor, I can't do this, and she has this click moment where she's like, yeah, I can.
Yeah,
that was so powerful to me, and I loved it. I did not like the last issue. I was bored out of my mind, but I freaking love this one.
Man, see, last issue you gave a blessing though, because you were bored with the Superwoman thing, but you liked the villain being recruited onto the police force and stuff, and that I felt that way too. Some of the Superwoman stuff, I don't know. Have you read Invincible, Noah?
No.
Oh man, you got to.
Yeah.
It's so good. Ariel's making fun of it. Do you not like it?
It's good.
I forced her to read the first two trades, in front of me. I watched her reading.
He watched me read it, and he was like, wait, what part are you?
I was waiting for her to react the way I did, but it's just she didn't have the same experience that I did.
It happens.
But this is similar to that in the sense that Invincible Volume 1 is really slow. You get a lot of build up and attachment to the family, and Invincible Volume 2, everything that was built just gets torn to shreds, and that wouldn't have had such an impact if they hadn't have built up that first part. So in Superwoman, in the last issue, they really built up that Superwoman without powers,
right.
And I think that made this moment where she accepts all those so much more important.
Right. So, I liked last issue just because it helped put this one in context for me, as far as going from without powers to now the suit has powers, and so it's okay, I can jump on from here. This is good. So.
Yeah, so let's keep the strong woman train rolling and move on to Wonder Woman number 22.
All right, Wonder Woman 22, Godwatch Part 4. Greg Rucka writer, Mirka Andolfo artist. Previously...
I'm interested to see what... Because
We'll this will actually be kind of a short review. So... a little bit of context. Previously in Wonder Woman, we still got this big overall arching story where Veronica Cale's daughter Isabella's soul has been kidnapped by the twin sons of Ares, and the only way to rescue her is to open a gate to Themyscira and free Ares in the process. So we open with Wonder Woman raising money for the Amnesty Trust Foundation by being in one of those date auctions. Lex Luthor and Bruce Wayne battle it out a little bit before they are both outbid by Veronica Cale to the tune of a cool $15 million. It turns out this was just a ruse to get close enough to Wonder Woman to analyze her lasso. They determined that he emits a godwave energy that will help them to locate Themyscira. And next we have The Truth, the finale in 2 weeks. And God watch the finale on June 14th. Okay, and so with only a couple issues left, I was really expecting a little bit more answers and story to what's going on behind Diana's memories, and it was all plot exposition on things we pretty much have already seen. However, it was still an enjoyable book. I do like Veronica Cale now when she was first created by Rucka, back in what was it, Wonder Woman back in 2003. At the time she just felt like a female Lex Luthor port, and that was it. But now she's really developed into her own character, and I like getting to see that. But I just wanted way more than what we got. This was to me a little bit of a throwaway issue.
Very much.
It just shows that Wonder Woman and Veronica Cale, it's technically the first time they've met, but who cares at this point, to be honest? You know what I mean? It's they've met in the present enough times, and the crossovers that this would have been a better issue earlier in the run.
I agree.
I think. And so for the first time, I think I give Wonder Woman a blessing.
And I think that may be the first of, I don't know, man. We'll see how Shea Fontana does, but I hope it's kind of a crapshoot with her. We don't know because she has no history whatsoever other than superhero girl.
I'm going into it expecting good things.
Oh, sorry guys.
I'm getting excited.
So no, I hit my knee on the table. Sorry. So I don't want to go like all social justice.
Then we do got to
but
talk about that.
I have a few nitpicks or things that I want to know what you guys think about. First of all, the way she was drawn in this issue seems very, very anti-Greg Rucka. Like he actually kicked someone off of this book because they drew her too sexualized, and then like we get this, and it's like that, and like that's like what the second page of the book.
My mouth literally hit the floor. I was like, oh my god! Because if listeners don't know, Frank Cho, who's an amazing artist, was supposed to do the variant covers for Wonder Woman, and he's known for his pinups. I mean, but he's also known for very muscular, strong, powerful women, and Rucka just didn't like him. And the third cover had her kind of leaning in and deflecting some bracelets, and you saw, like, I don't want to call it her underwear because it's not underwear, but underneath the skirt thing that she's wearing.
Call them shorts.
Shorts, right. And he demanded it be cropped and all this stuff, and it drove Frank Cho off the book, and it was so nothing. And then here she is in this,
like Victoria's Secret model level.
I like her in a Grecian gown, so I don't mind this got a little bit of a draped neck, but there are slits going up either side, clear to her hip, and it just killed me that he had a problem with
past her hip, almost
past
to
her
her
hip.
belly button level.
And it's like, wow, he had a huge problem with that little bit showing underneath the armor. Yeah, but she can wear
and she's being auctioned.
And then she's being auctioned off.
That's the other thing I was going to talk about is she's literally being auctioned off to guys. Again, like I don't think I have many problems with this because beneath all of this, there's a story that holds true to Wonder Woman. I don't like her being auctioned off, but I think there's ulterior motives. Like it's for a charity, and it's not like she's being prostituted or anything. So it's like this is all with her consent, and it's for a charity. So that doesn't bother me. The outfit really doesn't bother me.
The outfit doesn't bother me because I'm not, women. She can wear whatever she wants, and she looks beautiful. But
I'm just surprised about Greg Rucka allowing this.
That's what makes it such a thing. And with I like to think too, like if she were really around, I think she would raise money for charity, go to women's shelters, do things like that. And this kind of rode the line a little bit as a data auction. You nowhere does it imply anything untoward is going to happen because it's people are spending millions of dollars for this. It's just a kind of a meet and greet. Almost, but it's presented in a little bit of a misogynistic way, just like, ooh, here's a hot Wonder Woman. Everybody wants to date the hot chick in the skimpy outfit, and ooh, money. And it's kind of like, well. But then later she wears jeans and a t-shirt, and that was super cool. So
that was cool. The other thing about this is the auction is basically between Bruce Wayne, Lex Luthor, and Veronica Cale.
Yeah,
I don't think any three of these people really want to take her out for a date. I think like Bruce and Lex probably want to get an hour alone with her to get information. Because at this point, like Lex is a villain in the Superman story, and at this point, Bruce is a young Batman. So I think they're both probably wanting to know what's up with this girl.
Right. I do love their inclusion in it though, because they would be at a millionaire auction thing doing that. So that I did kind of get a kick out of that. So it did some things right, It was just this was an interesting issue.
And the fact that a woman won the auction too kind of saved it.
That kind of threw Yep.
I was like, okay,
by double. Like they were at 6-7 million, and Veronica's like 15 million. They're like, oh, sold.
Yep. I liked it.
I think we forget sometimes that comics are for kids, and I remember being like the only girl ever when I was like 11 reading comics, and I still remember the day they put Starfire in like a swimsuit,
right?
And it's very, I don't know, it's hard because as a woman we're always comparing ourselves to other women, and sexuality in comics, I've always been whatever, it's okay. I mean, beautiful women are awesome. Like, you can be beautiful and you can be strong, and that's a powerful message. But things like this is upsetting, because I remember being 10 years old and being like, okay, I need to show my boobs because guys are going to pay more attention to me.
Right.
I need to show some leg to get what I want, because if I show some leg, he's going to listen to me.
Yeah, I don't know, but this book is, I don't know. I go back and forth because this book isn't for like kids. It's for teenagers. I mean, still, like this is a more adult
teenage girls are. You don't understand what like.
I don't know, man. I think like this.
The bar, you expected the bar to be a little higher.
Yeah.
On this book than it was all around. I think is.
I just think like, I mean, yeah, you're right. You are, but I think like that message is being like. It's being sent like comics is like 1% of the message. Like the other 99% is like TV, magazines.
Definitely.
So
and it's also worth pointing out that the artist is a woman.
Yeah.
So
I don't think there were any ill intentions here.
No, and it's not. It's not vulgar to dress or anything. It's just. Cut in all the right places, and it was just a little surprising, but
it was more and I'm not upset about anything. I personally have no issues with that. I was just surprised with Rucka because I know he's super picky about her appearance or maybe
and her feminism
or maybe that tells us that it wasn't about her appearance and maybe he just had a problem with that artist.
See, that's
and like a personal problem.
That's what I think.
I think that might be more of the thing here, because otherwise I don't think he would have allowed that. Or maybe we don't know what's going on. Maybe he's leaving Wonder Woman because he got in some trouble at DC, and so this is his way of saying screw her off. Or you have no idea. I mean, like it could be anything. We could theorize about it all day.
I am definitely feeling the absence of Liam Sharp.
Well, that wouldn't have ever happened. This was the Nicholas Scott one, though. So Liam Sharp's on the current day one. This is the origin story. Yeah, so Liam Sharp's still on it. He'll be on till the end. Yeah. And I don't know if he's actually leaving or not.
Yeah,
he is leaving with Rucka.
Yeah. Well, he's working on Dark Matter, isn't he?
He's working on a different book. I didn't hear
he's
which
an
one.
exclusive DC artist now, so he'll definitely always be on something. But we can move things along here to Batgirl and Birds of Prey number 10.
Okay, this one I loved. Written by Julie and Shauna Benson. Art by Roge Antonio. Colors by Alan Paslico and John Branch. Okay. It's hypnotizing. With some help from Green Arrow and Nightwing, the team is able to hone in on Canary's location and are desperately trying to track down their friend. Blackbird is as powerful as ever. She's absorbed a mind controller's power and now has Dinah along with another student under her spell. With the help of Gemini and Fake Oracle, because he's never going to be the real Oracle to me.
Or to anyone at all.
They learn the key to stopping Blackbird is to form a powerful psychic bond. Friendship is power. An easy task since there's nothing but love among them. Especially since Nightwing's loved both two of them.
Yeah.
With Blackbird weakened, Bab is able to get Dinah back in control. Together they take down the bird. This town's only big enough for one bird-associated person or group. Meanwhile, we get another glimpse in the super shady dealings of Fake Oracle. So I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was a perfect conclusion. It had everything I wanted. Pretty much every character got a resolution, except Nightwing didn't really do anything.
And like this was a complaint from Brad too. Like he was upset because he wanted to see more of like Nightwing and Green Arrow teaming up. I think my argument to that point was this book is called Batgirl and the Birds of Prey. Mm-hmm. That's always, and like literally in this book you have like 7 main characters to juggle, and you got to stay centralized on those main people. So you're only gonna get short cameos of Nightwing. And
that's
stuff.
my favorite thing about Nightwing. In the opening panel, he gets to be the sexy, one with his butt shoved up in the air. Like, panel look at this ass.
Yeah, I know. That's
and hilarious. All the other birds are like on bikes and motorcycle. And there comes Dick Grayson.
Yeah,
leaping through with his butt, with his tight butt because everybody likes Grayson's butt.
Yeah, I know. That's always the thing. Is like Dick Grayson's butt. Or
it just made me laugh. So, but I got to say, I loved that they actually drove home the value, like in your faces, the birds have the strongest bond out of all the teams. And I think that says a lot about a well-written female group, because women are often pitted against each other and are catty and this other thing. And to have the strongest knit bond be a group of women makes sense and is finally appropriate. And,
Three
and it's
beautiful women who
great.
are all powerful.
Yeah, I dig it.
The best. I love it.
So,
and I love when Batgirl punched Canary, even though it was actually she's like, that ain't my friend. They're like, everybody, the look on everybody's face was what killed me. They're like, what are you doing? She's your friend.
I love when Canary makes a smart remark and Green Arrow's like, yup, that's her.
That's her. Yeah. It reminds me of X-Men, where he's like, how do we know it's you? You're a dick. That's him. Wolverine and Cyclops. I
am very excited because this whole new Oracle being shady has been teased.
Well, and they're really going into like, you kind of, I'm starting to feel a little sorry for him because he's got some type of a necessity. I mean, there's clearly they're keeping his pills from him, and I don't know exactly if it's a.
Oh, I guess it could be medical.
It could be, but it could be right. I mean, who knows? That's what's exciting about it. So
I'm really excited for them to go into him because the first issue I really liked him. He was hilarious, but then he just got creepier and creepier.
Yeah.
I gave this book a holy though. It was a perfect conclusion for me.
Nice.
Yep, I did too. I really, really liked it.
Any theories right now about where they're going with this story arc? And
I think Lex Luthor has something to do with it.
Okay.
I think he's implanted him to get information on the birds of prey.
Okay,
that'd be interesting. I'd like that to be. I think, which is like the last thing I want it to be, but I think it'll probably be a new person. I think they're going to create somebody new.
I'm kind of thinking that way too. I mean, I don't know, because like this new Oracle, everyone we had our theories. We thought it was the calculator and stuff, and
but they could resurrect that by having the calculator be the one that's controlling him, or like have a big bird of prey villain, reintroduced. But I don't think we'll probably get that.
I don't think so either. Do we think that that he's going to stay in the picture after they figure out whatever happens with him?
No.
They're making it look like he will. So I'm thinking he will. Not that I want him to, but I'm thinking he will just because I'm getting that vibe from how they're writing him.
I don't know. I hope he will, but we'll see. We'll find out.
I bet you anything the birds are going to take him and put him in like a safe house at the end of this or something.
Yeah, it could be. All right, cool. Yeah, I gave this one a holy, though. It was one of my favorite books of the week. I really enjoyed it. It was probably... It was up there with like Titans for me. I mean, like I really enjoyed Titans as well. So, but that's all we got on that one. So why don't we move things on to our final book, which is New Superman, and that is New Superman number 11.
Yes, sir. Written by Jean Luen Yang, pencils by Billy Tan, inks by Taco Zhang, colors by Ying Zhan. Okay. With the help of his mentor, Keenan is finally able to tap into his super speed. Of course, this leads to a race with him and Flash Avery. While those two are goofing off, a powerful spiritual force creates havoc on the seaside. The two arrogant kids finally get to the scene and help bring down the beast, but it will take China's Wonder Woman's selflessness to completely keep the monster at bay. Meanwhile, the super shady mentor of Keenan indirectly gets Dr. Omen to release Superman Zero. I bet you Keenan sure isn't going to like that. I really like this book. It's probably one of my favorites every week. I do hope that Wonder Woman and Bat are fleshed out, because right now they're kind of carbon copies, and I kind of just throwaway characters for me. Like, even her big moment when she was like, I'll go in to save you guys. I was like, that's Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman would do that.
Yeah.
Make yourself different. Keenan cracks me up, because every time you're like, oh, he has some good on him, he makes some asshole remark. And you're like, nope, he's just a boy and a jerk. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I actually didn't read this one.
I did. I'm so on the fence. The art is super, super good. I mean, like, super good art. And I loved, like, when Keenan and the Flash were racing, and the banter. And, I mean, I get a kick when Superman and Flash race and stuff, too. So when the China Superman and Flash, that was fun. But I just struggle a little bit with the fact that they're doing, like, exact copies. Kind of almost like you were saying for China. Justice League 3000 was a pre-New 52 book, and they kind of did like a future version, and it was a similar thing where they just had new characters with the same names and similar power sets, and it just didn't differentiate it enough for me. And I don't know. I'd like to see a little bit more originality behind the character naming and powers, not have them just be like China's Flash, and China's Superman.
I tend to agree with you there as well. I would like to see. I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know how to put my finger on it, but
it's hard to say really. But I do agree with you.
But I guess so. I gave it a blessing.
Awesome.
It was way good. But
I do like that the whole creative team is Asian.
Yeah,
because there's some. Not very often, but there's some cultural moments that feel very genuine.
Oh, and I think that if this book ever does get canceled, which, let's be honest, things on the chopping block at DC as far as sales numbers, this is up there for sure.
Right.
It's just not a very well-selling book. But if it does, they would never change the creative team on this. They would either keep them or cancel
the book, yeah.
Yeah, because Jinling Yang is like very, very attached to this character. I mean, that's his thing. If he's a male, it may be a she. I don't know, but it's their thing. So
it makes me sad that's on the chopping block because it's a good book.
I'm not saying it's on the chopping block. I'm saying that
it's on the lower end of the sales.
Yeah, the sales aren't as good. So if things are going to get canceled in Rebirth, which they just announced a bunch of new books. I mean, Miracle Man is coming out. We have all the Dark Matter stuff. So I feel like they're going to have to make room for
this
all those
one.
books.
Really, though, has the diversity factor going for them. They do not have any Asian or Asian American very few Asian or Asian American. There's a couple that pop in here and there, but this is, I mean, an entire book
and this
centric on that, and that's important because there's a huge Asian population here, that want to read comic books too and see people they know and reflect their culture and stuff. So
this book takes place. This book plays a pretty heavy part in Rebirth as a whole too. Like, this was a big thing when Rebirth started, and I think we're going to see this team come in handy when the war starts, which we are headed for war right now with like the Watchmen people and stuff. Right. So we'll see how that goes. But what did you rate it, Ariel?
I gave it a holy, and this is your Oracle speaking. Go out and buy this book.
Awesome. Yes, please buy this book, and really just buy any book that sounds remotely interesting to you. I saw the other day people posting these on Imager, they posted every issue of The Button, and that just makes me so mad because it really makes me upset. Because
I ended up reporting him.
Because comic book artists and writers, they're not rock stars, man. They don't make very much money. I mean, they probably make a decent income, the big ones, but. Man, dude, if you don't buy the books, they will cancel them. The comic book sales aren't huge. You're not a tiny speck. It's a lot different than video games where you really are a tiny speck. And if I don't buy a video game, no one's really going to notice. But with comic books, there's a smaller audience, so it matters if people buy the books. So pirating comic books, going online to get them for free, I just don't support that. I think that people should pay for the books. We get review copies, but I still buy the books that I like. I think it's super important to support these writers and artists. So New Superman, if you're into it, I mean, just don't go broke or anything. But if it's something you're into, definitely pay for it, man, because that's what it's all about, is keeping them in business, and that's really how they determine if they're going to keep making something or not. But I'll get off my soapbox there. Sorry about that, guys. So that's all I got for you guys this week. Again, we do have a listener line. Please call and leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on the show, or butt dial us. We'll play that on the show, whatever. 641-715-3900, extension 345-703. Shout out to Juan Ferreira. He is the artist on Green Arrow, and he kind of interacted with us on Twitter. We do appreciate that, and we love your artwork, sir. Same with Benjamin Percy and all the other wonderful people writing and drawing at DC. If you want to email us, we will read your mail on the show. show. We would really, really love it if you would email us. That email is nerdchurchradio@gmail.com. If you want to donate to us and help us keep the lights on, we're available at patreon.com/nerdchurchradio. We also write reviews. The three of us, Ariel, Noah, and I, we write reviews. They write better than I do, but I get stuff up too. So we write reviews for all the comic books. They come out Wednesday at midnight. www.nerdchurchradio.com. We review all DC comic books. And if you want to find Nerd Church Radio anywhere on social media, we're there at Nerd Church Radio. If you want to find me on Twitter, I'm at IndieComicBen. Noah, where can we find you?
And you can find me on social media. Just search Noah O'Toole.
And Ariel.
Ariel the Oracle on Twitter.
Awesome. And I thought up that name, just saying. All right, we are done for the week. Put a fork in me. I'm done. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Later.
Bye.